sunshines, it's Faye here, and today I'm going to do a very quick eye coloring tutorial. So you may have seen this picture, and this is basically going to be the end result for what we're doing today. The first thing that you want to do is have your colors ready. You want a dark, a medium, and a light, and also a white. As you can see, it's dark but not too heavily saturated. A lot of things that artists make a mistake if you're kind of newer is make colors too saturated, so make sure the saturation is not that high. Of course, today is going to be blue, but you can do any color on the coloring wheel, and you can even mix and match colors, even though these are all kind of a blue variant. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen tool and I'm going to have a layer that's lower than the actual line art, and I'm just going to color in the full part of the eye with the pen tool. Just color it in, and you don't need to be too careful because you can always clean it up later with the eraser tool, which is what I will do. Alright, next thing that I'm doing is I'm grabbing the darkest color, and I'm going to use the coloring tool, and I'm going to color a line on top of it. The reason I use the coloring tool and not the pen tool with this one is because the pen tool is too harsh, whereas the coloring tool really fades nicely into the color and doesn't create such a harsh contrast, so it doesn't look like the eyelid is too heavy on the eye. You just want a line and sort of arched. You want to keep it arched to the same shape of the eye. And then you just want to draw the pupil in the middle of the eye. If your character is looking elsewhere, you'll move this. This is just a straight on eye for simplicity's sake. Even though you are using the coloring tool, you still want the deepest part of the eye to be the darkest. And so you can kind of create a little bit of a fade out and then just erase any kind of mess that appears, of course. Alright, when I make too much, instead of using the erase tool, it's too harsh, I instead use the color tool with the other color. You want to keep the brush similar, the same size, because the smaller the brush, the stronger the pigment is and the less of the fade. So you can always go over too much and then grab the dark color and then go back again. Ta-da! Alright, so we're going to make another layer, and this is one time we're going to grab the lightest color. This layer we're actually going to move underneath the dark pupil part, but above the light blue base. And this is because we're going to create a glow effect around the pupil. I used to use a luminosity layer to do this, but I felt that it was too harsh and contrasting, and this actually just ended up looking way better. Alright, as you can see, there's too much spill, but when I use the eraser, it creates a harsh line. This is what I was talking about before, and I just wanted to show you that what you want to do is you want to use the light blue and just use a crayon to sort of smooth it over if it's too big. As you can see, it's too heavy on the one side. And of course, just clean up anything that's spilled out of the line. So we're going to combine all the layers together now, since we're done with those, and I just call it the base color, because we're moving on to luminosity layers next. So I grab the lightest color again, and I grab the pen tool because I don't want any kind of blurring or anything. I want it to be a strong circle. I'm going to draw a circle at the very bottom of the eye, not touching the exact bottom part of the eye, leaving a little bit of space there, and then also a semicircle on the side. I'm going to change the layer to luminosity, and as you can see, it's glowing, but also you can see that it sort of changes the shape. So I go back and I just fix just to make it more smooth and any holes that may have appeared. Alright, so as you can see, that's a little bit too bright, so I take the opacity and I bring it down to 40%. That way it gives the eye kind of a three-dimensional look and it's not too overpowering. Finally, I grab the white from the eye, and this is also going to be a luminosity. As you see, it's a bluish white, so if there is any tinge, it will be still within the realm of blue. Mint and green still work, but you don't want anything too contrasting. I mean, it's a white after all, but still. So I take the airbrush tool. This one's too small. I usually don't work with eyes this large, so I'm still learning what brush size to use. I just draw a big circle in the corner of the eye, and then I draw a little circle reaching towards the pupil. I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm going to do 3 shines, 1 below the big shine and 2 around the light blue glow. And then 1 just off center in the middle of the pupil so it doesn't look like part of the pupil, but there's still a shine there to add some brightness. I change it to luminosity, and there you can see that it's glowing. So that is the full eye look. And I'm just going to create a folder called Eyes. You cannot bring the luminosity layers together because it will change it to just a normal layer and it won't look as nice. So you just keep it all nice in a folder, and there you go. That's how you get the Faye art style. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I appreciate it so much. Have a great day. Bye! Mwah.